Question 1. Title exceptions and requirements. Which of the following is NOT typically included as a standard exception to coverage in a title insurance policy? A. Right of parties in possession. B. Mechanics liens that arise after the policy is issued. C. Encroachments or boundary disputes based on a survey. D. Unrecorded easements not disclosed by public records. Answer: C. Encroachments or boundary disputes based on a survey. Explanation: Title insurance policies commonly include standard exceptions, which limit the coverage provided by the policy. These exceptions typically relate to matters that are not easily discoverable through a title search or public records. Right of parties in possession: they are a standard exception because they refer to any unrecorded rights that may be held by tenants or other occupants which are not revealed by public records. Mechanics liens, B, that arise after the issuance of the policy, are another common exception, as these could be the result of work or materials provided after the transaction closes. Unrecorded easements, D, are also frequently excluded because they may not be discoverable through a title search but could affect the property. However, encroachments or boundary disputes based on a survey, C, would not be a standard exception. A survey would typically reveal these issues, and an extended coverage policy might cover such matters if they are identified during the examination of the survey. This is why it is important to get extended coverage, especially when surveys are involved. Question 2. Legal aspects of title insurance scenario. Mr. Thompson is purchasing a property in Iowa and discovers during the title examination process that there is a recorded easement giving a neighboring property owner the right to access a portion of his land. Mr. Thompson is concerned that this could interfere with his future development plans. What is Mr. Thompson's best course of action? A. Proceed with the purchase, knowing that the easement will be automatically voided after the sale. B. Request that the easement be removed from the title by the seller before closing. C. Request that the title insurance policy specifically exclude the easement from coverage. D. Understand that the easement will remain valid and ensure it is accounted for in the title insurance policy. Answer: D. Understand that the easement will remain valid and ensure it is accounted for in the title insurance policy. Explanation: An easement is a legal right to use a portion of another's land for a specific purpose. Easements do not disappear upon the transfer of property unless specifically terminated by agreement. Option A is incorrect because recorded easements do not automatically become void after sale. They run with the land and remain valid unless properly terminated. Option B is unrealistic because removing a recorded easement often requires agreement from all parties involved, and it is unlikely the seller could unilaterally remove it. Option C is incorrect because requesting that the easement be excluded from the policy would result in Mr. Thompson not being protected from any disputes related to the easement, which is not advisable. The best course of action, option D, is for Mr. Thompson to ensure that the easement is accounted for in the title insurance policy. The policy will protect him from any future legal claims arising from the easement, but he must understand that the easement itself remains valid unless legally terminated. Question 3. Title insurance underwriting. In Iowa, what is one of the primary factors that a title insurance underwriter will consider when determining the risk of issuing a title insurance policy on a commercial property? A. The financial stability of the buyer. B. The length of time the seller has owned the property. C. The potential for unresolved liens or judgments. D. The buyer's intent for future development of the property. Answer: C. The potential for unresolved liens or judgments. Explanation: When evaluating the risk of issuing a title insurance policy, underwriters focus on potential risks that could affect the marketability or ownership of the property. The financial stability of the buyer is not a primary factor for title insurance underwriting. Title insurance protects the buyer and lender from title defects, not the financial capacity of the buyer. The length of time the seller has owned the property, B, may provide some context for the title search but is not a critical factor in risk evaluation. The presence of any unresolved issues, such as judgments or liens, is more significant. The buyer's intent for future development, D, is irrelevant to the title insurance policy, as title insurance covers past events that affect ownership, not future plans. Unresolved liens or judgments, C, critical in underwriting decisions because these represent potential claims or encumbrances on the title that could impact ownership rights. If liens or judgments exist, the insurer may require them to be cleared before issuing the policy, or they may be specifically excluded from coverage. Question 4. Title search procedures. During the title search process, which of the following is most likely to reveal existing liens or judgments against a property in Iowa? A. Survey of the property. B. Examination of public records. C. Physical inspection of the property. D. Contacting the previous owner directly. Answer: B. Examination of public records. Explanation. A title search involves examining various sources, particularly public records, to determine the status of the title. A survey identifies physical boundaries or encroachments, but it does not reveal liens or judgments. A physical inspection, C, helps with identifying the condition or occupancy of the property, but does not uncover legal claims. Contacting the previous owner, D, might provide some anecdotal information, but it's unreliable and not a formal part of the title search. The most effective method is through an examination of public records, B, including county recorders' offices, to identify any recorded liens, judgments, or other encumbrances that could affect ownership. Question 5. Coverage provided by title insurance policies. Which of the following is typically covered by a standard owner's title insurance policy in Iowa? A. Disputes arising from unrecorded easements. B. Boundary disputes not revealed by public records. C. Forged documents in the chain of title. D. Mechanics liens filed after the policy is issued. Answer. C. Forged documents in the chain of title. Explanation. Title insurance policies provide protection against specific risks associated with property ownership. Unrecorded easements are typically excluded from coverage unless they are discovered and disclosed prior to issuing the policy. Boundary disputes, B, not revealed by public records, are also generally excluded unless extended coverage is obtained. Mechanics liens, D, that arise after the policy is issued are excluded unless specific endorsements are included. However, forged documents, C, in the chain of title are covered as they present a serious title defect that undermines the legitimacy of previous conveyances. This is one of the primary protections offered by title insurance. Question 6. Title commitment. Which section of the title commitment document specifies the conditions that must be met before a title insurance policy will be issued in Iowa? A. Schedule A. B. Schedule BI. C. Schedule BOMT. D. Schedule C. Correct answer. B. Schedule BI. Explanation. A title commitment document outlines the terms and conditions that will apply to the issuance of a title insurance policy. Schedule A provides basic information about the property, including the legal description and the parties involved. Schedule BOMT lists exceptions to coverage, such as easements and other matters not covered by the policy. Schedule CD is not typically part of its standard title commitment. Schedule BI lists the requirements that must be satisfied before the title policy can be issued. This might include resolving existing liens, obtaining additional documentation, or other conditions that must be fulfilled. Question 7. Legal framework governing title insurance. According to the Iowa Title Insurance Act, which of the following is considered a prohibited practice for title insurance agents? A. Charging different rates for residential and commercial policies. B. Offering discounts to repeat clients without regulatory approval. C. Recommending a specific title insurance underwriter. D. Discussing potential defects in a property title with the buyer's attorney. Answer. B. Offering discounts to repeat clients without regulatory approval. Explanation. Under the Iowa Title Insurance Act, title insurance agents must follow strict regulations concerning pricing and professional conduct. Charging different rates for residential and commercial policies is common and permissible because the risks and coverage differ for these types of transactions. Recommending a specific underwriter, C, is not necessarily prohibited as long as the recommendation is based on legitimate factors such as experience or service quality. Discussing title defects with the buyer's attorney, D, is generally part of the title agent's duties, especially when advising on potential issues. However, offering discounts without regulatory approval, B, is prohibited. Title insurance rates are regulated, and any deviation from approved rates must be justified and approved by the relevant state authorities. Question 8. Title insurance policies. Which of the following is an exclusion typically found in an Iowa title insurance policy? A. Zoning changes made after the policy is issued. B. Title defects caused by undisclosed heirs. C. Fraudulent conveyances recorded in the past. D. Liens that were not discovered during the title search. Answer. A. Zoning changes made after the policy is issued. Explanation. Title insurance covers risks related to ownership, but there are specific exclusions that limit what the policy will cover. Undisclosed heirs, B, or fraudulent conveyances, C, are both typically covered as they represent title defects that could impact ownership. Liens not discovered during the title search, D, might be covered, especially if they were recorded before the policy was issued and should have been found during the title examination. However, zoning changes made after the policy is issued are typically excluded from coverage, as title insurance focuses on existing conditions and not future governmental actions or land use regulations. Question 9. Real property law scenario MS. Bradley is purchasing a commercial property in Iowa and discovers that there is a restrictive covenant that limits the type of business activities allowed on the property. She intends to open a manufacturing facility, but the covenant only permits retail operations. What should MS Bradley do before proceeding with the purchase? A. Ignore the covenant as it is unenforceable once the property is transferred. B. Negotiate with the current owner to remove the covenant from the title. C. Purchase the property and file a claim under her title insurance policy. D. Consult an attorney to explore whether the covenant can be legally challenged. Answer: D. Consult an attorney to explore whether the covenant can be legally challenged. Explanation: a restrictive covenant is a binding legal agreement that limits certain uses of a property. These covenants remain in effect unless specifically terminated or legally challenged. Ignoring the covenant is not an option, as restrictive covenants typically run with the landowner and remain enforceable even after the property is transferred. Negotiating with the owner B is unlikely to succeed, as restrictive covenants are usually placed by a third party such as a neighborhood association or previous owner and cannot be removed by the current owner. Filing a claim C under title insurance policy would not help, as title insurance does not cover restrictive covenants. MS Bradley's best option is to consult an attorney. D. To determine whether the covenant can be legally challenged. An attorney can assess the enforceability of the covenant and provide legal advice on whether it can be removed or modified. Question 10. Title insurance claims process. In the event of a title insurance claim in Iowa, what is the first step a policyholder should take? A. File a lawsuit against the seller. B. Contact the underwriter directly to report the claim. C. Begin the foreclosure process. D. Submit a claim to the county recorder's office. Answer: B. Contact the underwriter directly to report the claim. Explanation: in the event of a title issue covered by a title insurance policy, the policyholder must follow a specific claims process to receive protection. Filing a lawsuit against the seller is not the first step, as title insurance is designed to resolve these disputes without immediate legal action. Beginning the foreclosure process C is irrelevant to the claims process unless the issue directly involves a foreclosure. Submitting a claim to the county recorder D is incorrect because the county recorder's office does not handle title insurance claims. The first step is to contact the title insurance underwriter B to report the issue. The underwriter will investigate the claim and work with the policyholder to resolve any title defects or compensatory issues. Question 11. Title insurance endorsements. Which of the following endorsements is commonly added to a title insurance policy to protect against losses due to zoning violations in Iowa? A. Comprehensive endorsement. B. Zoning endorsement. C. Mechanics lien endorsement. D. Environmental hazard endorsement. Answer: B. Zoning endorsement. Explanation: a zoning endorsement provides coverage for losses related to the inability to use the property for its intended purpose due to violations of zoning laws. This is especially important for commercial properties where zoning restrictions could significantly impact the property's use. Question 12. Mechanics liens. A buyer purchases a property in Iowa and a mechanics lien is filed after closing for unpaid work completed before the sale. Which of the following scenarios is covered by the buyer's title insurance policy? A. The mechanics lien was recorded before the title policy was issued. B. The mechanics lien was recorded after the policy was issued. C. The lien is for work that was not disclosed by the previous owner. D. The lien pertains to work completed after the sale. Answer: A. The mechanics lien was recorded before the title policy was issued. Explanation: a title insurance policy generally covers mechanics liens if they were recorded before the policy was issued but were missed during the title search. If the lien is recorded after the policy is issued, it is typically excluded from coverage unless an endorsement was obtained. Question 13. Quiet title action. What is the purpose of a quiet title action in Iowa? A. To transfer title from the current owner to a new buyer. B. To remove clouds on the title and establish ownership. C. To settle a boundary dispute. D. To invalidate restrictive covenants. Answer: B. To remove clouds on the title and establish ownership. Explanation: a quiet title action is a lawsuit used to resolve disputes or clouds on the title, such as competing claims to ownership, and to establish clear ownership of the property. It is commonly used when there are unresolved legal issues regarding the property's title. Question 14. Title defects. Which of the following would be considered a cloud on the title in Iowa? A. A recorded mortgage that has been paid off. B. A properly recorded easement for utility access. C. A discrepancy in the property's legal description. D. A recent zoning change. Answer. C. A discrepancy in the property's legal description. Explanation. A cloud on the title refers to any issue that creates uncertainty regarding ownership or the property's legal standing. A discrepancy in the legal description of the property could affect future conveyances and would need to be resolved. Other options listed either do not affect ownership or are unrelated to title defects. Question 15. Adverse possession. In Iowa, how long must an individual openly occupy a property without the owner's permission to claim ownership through adverse possession? A. 5 years. B. 10 years. C. 15 years. D. 20 years. Answer. B. 10 years. Explanation. In Iowa, the statutory period for adverse possession is 10 years. This means that if someone openly occupies and uses another's property without permission for a continuous 10-year period, they may be able to claim legal ownership through adverse possession. Question 16. Title insurance premiums. How are title insurance premiums typically paid in Iowa? A. Annually, similar to homeowners insurance premiums. B. Monthly as part of the mortgage payment. C. As a one-time payment at closing. D. Quarterly as part of property tax assessments. Answer. C. As a one-time payment at closing. Explanation. Title insurance premiums are generally paid as a one-time payment at closing. This contrasts with other types of insurance, such as homeowners insurance, which may require recurring payments. Title insurance provides protection for as long as the policyholder owns the property. Question 17. Title defects and marketable title. Which of the following title defects could prevent a property in Iowa from being considered marketable? A. A small unpaid property tax balance. B. An outdated restrictive covenant. C. A previously undisclosed easement allowing public access. D. A zoning change that limits future development. Answer. C. A previously undisclosed easement allowing public access. Explanation. A marketable title is one free from significant defects or encumbrances. An undisclosed easement that allows public access could affect the buyer's ability to use the property as intended, thus making the title unmarketable. Small unpaid taxes or outdated covenants are typically resolvable issues and do not render the title unmarketable. Question 18. Foreclosure and title insurance. If a property in Iowa is purchased at a foreclosure sale, what risk might a standard owner's title insurance policy not cover? A. Forged documents in the chain of title. B. Undisclosed liens or judgments. C. Issues related to the foreclosure process itself. D. Title defects caused by adverse possession. Answer. C. Issues related to the foreclosure process itself. Explanation. A standard title insurance policy typically does not cover defects in the foreclosure process, such as improper notifications or procedural errors. Buyers of foreclosed properties often need a specific foreclosure endorsement or a thorough review of the foreclosure process to ensure proper title. Question 19. Iowa Recording Acts. Under Iowa's recording statutes, which party's interest is generally protected when there is a dispute over who has priority in Title? A. The first party to take possession of the property. B. The party who records the deed first. C. The party who provides the highest payment for the property. D. The party with the longest continuous use of the property. Answer. B. The party who records the deed first. Explanation. Iowa follows a race notice recording statute, meaning that the party who records their interest in the property first, without notice of any prior unrecorded claims, generally has priority in a title dispute. Question 20. Subrogation in title insurance. What does subrogation mean in the context of an Iowa title insurance policy? A. The insurer's right to reduce coverage in case of a claim. B. The insurer's right to step into the policyholder's shoes and pursue recovery. C. The policyholder's right to sue the insurer for unpaid claims. D. The policyholder's right to cancel the policy after a claim. Answer. B. The insurer's right to step into the policyholder's shoes and pursue recovery. Explanation. Subrogation allows the title insurer, after paying a claim, to pursue any third party responsible for the title defect in order to recover the amount paid to the policyholder. This protects the insurer and ensures the responsible party is held accountable. Question 21. Insurable versus marketable title. What is the key difference between an insurable title and a marketable title in Iowa? A. An insurable title has been guaranteed by the title insurance company, while a marketable title is free from all defects. B. A marketable title can be transferred without insurance, but an insurable title cannot. C. An insurable title guarantees full ownership rights, while a marketable title does not. D. A marketable title is one that can be sold without litigation, while an insurable title may have unresolved issues. Answer: D. A marketable title is one that can be sold without litigation, while an insurable title may have unresolved issues. Explanation: an insurable title may have some defects or risks that a title insurance company is willing to insure against, while a marketable title is free from significant defects and can be sold without fear of litigation or disputes. Insurable titles may not always be marketable depending on the severity of the defects. Question 22. Exceptions in title insurance policies. Which of the following is an example of a common exception that may be listed in an Iowa title insurance policy? A. Property tax assessments paid in full. B. Recorded easements for utility lines. C. Unrecorded mechanics liens. D. The legal description of the property. Answer: B. Recorded easements for utility lines. Explanation: title insurance policies often list certain exceptions, such as recorded easements, which are not covered by the policy. These exceptions may limit the policyholder's coverage and are typically things that already exist on the title, like easements or rights of way. Question 23. Title search in Iowa. During a title search in Iowa, which of the following records would typically not be reviewed? A. Deeds. B. Zoning ordinances. C. Mortgages. D. Judgments against the owner. Answer: B. Zoning ordinances. Explanation: a title search primarily involves reviewing records like deeds, mortgages, and judgments that affect the ownership and encumbrances on the property. Zoning ordinances are typically not part of the title search, as they govern land use rather than ownership or liens. Question 24. Iowa probate and title transfer. In Iowa, if a property owner dies intestate without a will, how is the title to their real property transferred? A. Automatically to the surviving spouse. B. Through a probate proceeding in accordance with Iowa's intestacy laws. C. It escheats to the state of Iowa. D. It is divided equally among the heirs without court intervention. Answer: B. Through a probate proceeding in accordance with Iowa's intestacy laws. Explanation: if a property owner dies intestate in Iowa, their property is transferred through probate, where the court oversees the distribution according to the state's intestacy laws. This process determines who the legal heirs are and how the estate is divided. Question 25. ALTA Owners Policy. Under the American Land Title Association Auto Owners Policy in Iowa, what type of coverage is provided for boundary line disputes? A. Full coverage for all boundary disputes. B. Coverage only if there is a recorded survey. C. No coverage unless an ALTA survey was conducted. D. Coverage for undisclosed boundary disputes that affect marketability. Answer: D. Coverage for undisclosed boundary disputes that affect marketability. Explanation: the ALTA Owners Policy provides coverage for undisclosed boundary disputes if they affect the marketability of the property. If there are recorded surveys or known issues, the insurer may exclude them from coverage unless addressed through endorsements. Question 26. Easements and title insurance. If a buyer in Iowa discovers a recorded easement across their newly purchased property after closing, what is the role of the title insurance policy? A. The policy will cover the buyer's legal fees to dispute the easement. B. The policy would exclude the easement from coverage if it was properly recorded. C. The policy will automatically compensate the buyer for any reduction in property value. D. The policy guarantees the easement will be removed from the title. Answer: B. The policy will exclude the easement from coverage if it was properly recorded. Explanation: if an easement is properly recorded, the title insurance policy typically excludes it from coverage, as it would have been identified during the title search. A buyer should have been made aware of the easement before closing. Question 27. Chain of title. Which of the following issues would likely create a break in the chain of title in Iowa? A. A deed was not properly signed or acknowledged. B. A lien was filed against the property. C. A property owner died and left a will. D. A new mortgage was recorded. Answer: A. A deed was not properly signed or acknowledged. Explanation: a break in the chain of title occurs when there is a defect in the transfer of ownership, such as when a deed is not properly signed or acknowledged. This can create uncertainty about who the rightful owner of the property is and may require legal action to resolve. Question 28. Iowa homestead laws and title insurance. Iowa's homestead exemption law may affect title insurance in what way? A. It prevents the sale of any homestead property without court approval. B. It provides unlimited title insurance coverage for homestead properties. C. It requires the signature of both spouses to transfer or mortgage a homestead property. D. It automatically exempts homestead property from title insurance requirements. Answer C. It requires the signature of both spouses to transfer or mortgage a homestead property. Explanation: Iowa's homestead laws protect a primary residence and require the signature of both spouses to transfer or mortgage the property, even if the property is only in one spouse's name. This can affect the title if the proper signature is missing. Question 29. Corrective deeds. In Iowa, what is the purpose of a corrective deed? A. To transfer ownership of a property to a new buyer. B. To resolve issues with a previously recorded deed. C. To legally change the property's zoning classification. D. To add an easement to the property. Answer: B. To resolve issues with a previously recorded deed. Explanation: a corrective deed is used to fix mistakes or inaccuracies in a previously recorded deed, such as errors in the legal description or names. This helps ensure the title is clear and free from defects caused by recording errors. Question 30. Quiet title action timeframe. How long must an individual wait to bring a quiet title action in Iowa after adverse possession? A. 5 years. B. 10 years. C. 15 years. D. 20 years. Answer: B. 10 years. Explanation: in Iowa, a quiet title action can be brought after 10 years of continuous open and notorious possession of the property without the owner's consent under the legal doctrine of adverse possession.